In the middle of the ocean, far from any known shipping route, there exists an island surrounded by mystery. For centuries, sailors have whispered stories about a place where people disappear without a trace. In 1672, Captain Edward Harrington recorded something strange in his journal. He described an island that appeared suddenly through thick fog, even though it was missing from every map on board. 20 sailors stepped onto the island. At first, everything looked normal, but soon they noticed something terrifying. There were no animal sounds, no insects, only silence. The next morning, one sailor was gone. There were no footprints, no signs of a struggle. It was as if he had vanished into thin air. That night, the remaining sailors heard something strange coming from the forest. At first, it sounded like the wind. Then it became clearer. Whispers, soft voices calling their names from deep within the trees. Some sailors claimed they heard the voices of their mothers. Others heard old friends who had died years ago. The captain ordered everyone to stay inside the camp, but one frightened sailor couldn't resist. He followed the whispers into the darkness. He never returned. The following morning, the search team found something disturbing. Large footprints covered the muddy ground near the forest. They were unlike anything the sailors had ever seen. The tracks were too large for a human, but too human-like for an animal. The footprints appeared from nowhere and disappeared just as suddenly, as if whatever made them had simply vanished. 3 days later, the sailors discovered an abandoned village hidden deep within the jungle. The huts were old, very old, yet strangely preserved. Inside the houses were tools, pottery, and furniture. Everything remained untouched, but there were no people, no skeletons, no signs of a battle. It looked as though an entire population had vanished overnight. Near the abandoned village stood a massive cave entrance. Cold air flowed from within. The sailors lit their torches and entered. The deeper they traveled, the stranger the cave became. Symbols covered the walls, unknown markings, ancient warnings, and in the deepest chamber, they found something impossible, a massive stone door, far older than any known civilization. The stone door stood nearly 30 feet tall, no hinges, no handle, no visible way to open it, yet something about it felt alive. One sailor placed his hand against the stone. Immediately, he screamed. He claimed he saw visions, cities burning, ships sinking, and thousands of people disappearing into darkness. The captain ordered everyone away from the door, but curiosity had already taken hold. That night, something happened. A deep rumbling shook the island. The ground trembled beneath the sailors' feet, and somewhere inside the cave, a stone door opened. A blinding white light emerged from the darkness. The sailors watched in horror because they realized one terrifying truth. Something was coming out.